everybody, we are live. Oh, you guys, it has been a week. It has been a week. So, fall is a very busy time of the year for us here in the Desert Bloom Bettas household. I don't know, there's just this thing that once the end of August hits, from then until like February, it is one event after the other because it goes, my birthday is the end of August, and then my daughter's birthday is the end of October, like 3-4 days before Halloween. And then there's Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's, which is my father's birthday. And then my husband's birthday is the beginning of February on Groundhog's Day. So it's just planning event. Also trying to start homeschool in the middle of that, and it's just been nuts. Absolute nuts. We finally went out yesterday and got my daughter's books and things she needed for homeschool because we're about 2 months late on getting her set up this year. Because the great thing about homeschool is you can start it whenever you want. So we had to go pick up books on geometry and earth sciences, and that was a fiasco because apparently Barnes & Noble doesn't carry books on earth sciences. Oh. We went there looking, and we're sitting here going through all of the science shelves looking for what we needed because they don't carry curriculum books after about 7th grade. After about 7th grade, you have to pick your classes, whatever you're doing, and like find the specific books that teach what you want to teach. So we go looking for earth sciences. There's no books on earth sciences. So we're like, okay, what falls in earth science? Geology. Let's look for books on geology and rocks and whatnot. 0 books. 0. So I'm like, what the heck? How can they not have any books on geology? Let me go find somebody to help us. So I found this very, very helpful, nice young man who worked there, who went and searched on their computer, and he's sitting there looking up geology, and he's like, we don't have any books on geology. Wait, that can't be true. How can we not have any books on geology? What? And he's like, that can't, no. Geology is, like everybody knows what geology is. So he goes and drags me around the store looking at all these different shelves, and we're looking and looking, cannot find a single book on geology. We found books on beekeeping and raising chickens, and there's an entire section on flowers. We even found books on cannibalism, but there's no books on geology. Finally went over to like the study aids where you get books about the SATs and stuff. And I happened to spot the one book on earth sciences. One book. The only one. We checked the computer. Literally, it is the only book that exists that they have. Why? Why is it so hard? Homeschool here is like different than homeschool in most states because Texas is a very religious state. People are very into their religion here, and I am not, but lots of people are. And so in most states, when you homeschool, you have to go through these people who tell you what curriculum you have to meet, and you have to like give them your learning plan, and there's all these hoops and stuff you have to go through. But here in Texas, because it is so religious, we aren't required to do anything. Any homeschool is considered a private school, and private schools cannot be overseen by any of the school districts here in Texas. So once you submit a piece of paper that says, I intend to homeschool, you don't have to prove anything. There's no curriculum you have to follow. There's nothing. Which is really handy because I'm lazy. We do still do our teaching and stuff, but like I don't want to have to fill out forms and prove curriculum to people. That's ridiculous. So, and all of this only applies if your children has ever gone to public school. If they've gone to public school, you have to submit a thing to your school district saying, I intend to homeschool. If your kid has never been in public school, there's nothing. You don't have to submit a form. You don't have to tell anyone. You just teach. Yeah, and there's no accountability, which is terrible for people who are really lazy and don't want to teach their kids. We're not like that. Our daughter's way ahead on all of her school learning. She's learning 12th grade stuff and she's in 9th grade. So she's getting her school, but it's crazy. Let's see. One fish, two fish says, oh wow, no restrictions. On one hand, that is great. On the other hand, I could see where it might be problematic too. Yes. Yes. Especially since there's no accountability for what your kid is learning. The super religious families can literally teach them anything or not teach them anything. And there's nobody to say otherwise. We've been kind of doing a thing where every year we look up what the normal curriculum is for the public schools, several public schools. And we look at it, we figure out what level my daughter should be on all of her subjects, and then we teach those things for that year. And she's a little bit ahead, so like most kids in 9th grade would be learning biology. She learned biology 2 years ago. So instead we went to the next thing, which was earth sciences. She's supposed to be learning a language now in high school, but she's already done 2 years of Japanese. And she speaks it quite well. Drives my husband nuts because she walks around the house talking to me in Japanese, and I understand enough of it. But he doesn't get any of it, and he's like, we speak English. It's hilarious. But yeah, it's real hard to find curriculum books. Even online, it's tough sometimes because most of the homeschooling curriculum books you're going to find are religiously based because that's up until now who usually homeschools. So there's a lot of books that teach creationism over science, and you'd have to be like really careful about the kind of books you pick up. But we're doing good so far. We're a little bit ahead of the group. My daughter's always been like really, really smart. When she was in 3rd grade, she was tested as reading on a 9th grade level. So she was already reading like YA books in 3rd grade. She had already gone through the entire library at her school. So she's just a little bit ahead. Hello, Thirsty Rabbit. Good morning. We're just talking about school. It's been one of those weeks. My daughter's just now starting on her homeschool for this year because we're a little bit behind. Just a tad. But even then, we looked at all of her curriculum she needs for the next 4 years because high school, we have to meet like SATs and stuff, whatnot. And so we're sitting here looking at her curriculum and all the credits she needs, and she's already done more than half of what high school requires. So we're kind of making it up as we go along. Good morning, Rob93. I swear I'm going to stop talking about school at some point. It's been one of those weeks. Let's see what else happened. I joined a live stream charity event for the game Ark. That's been going on for a week. I think we ended this Sunday, so that's been taking up my time, and I'm terrible because I haven't been participating. I've been so busy, you guys. I do play a lot of games. Ark is my game. I am number 2 in the country on hours in Ark. I'm not kidding. I think I'm just about to hit 7,000 hours in that game. I know my Ark. Let's see what else happened. I got food poisoning 3 days ago. I'm testing this coffee to see if I survive. I've literally just been eating broth and homemade chicken soup for like 3 days, and I'm so tired of it, and I'm so hungry, and I can't eat Halloween candy, and this sucks. I blame the birthday cake. My daughter had an ice cream cake from Baskin Robbins. I was okay till I ate that. Food poisoning, man. Which game? Ark. Ark Survival Evolved. That is my game. It's fun and very buggy. Very, very buggy. But I've been playing it for years, so I know it. Let's see. What else happened this week? Not a lot in the fish room. Boss Sheep, our beautiful black and white marble female fish, is getting her koi spots. Finally. So she's going to be a koi. I'm happy. Moo Cow is still a black fish. He was supposed to be black and white marble / koi, and he's just turned black. I don't know. No idea. But everything has been going really good. Our snails are reproducing again. We have now gotten 7 clutches in the last couple days. 3 have already hatched. So we're going to have 1 million mystery snails, and I'm excited because we literally didn't have any for like 3 months. All of our clutches stopped being born because our adult female layers all died. So luckily, the babies have grown up enough. They're breeding. I'm happy. I can't wait to see what colors we get because we got some weird colors out of the last batch. We got lots of purples and magentas and blues and ivories and golds and jades. We also got 2 or 3 gold striped ones. They're not chestnuts. They're gold mystery snails with stripes. They're really cool looking. I did not know that was a color morph that happened, but apparently it is because we got some. So I'm really hoping that they breed because they're unique and I want some more. My Daphnia culture is still alive. Hallelujah. I feel like now that it's been alive for a couple weeks, I can definitively say I know how to keep it alive. And it's so counterintuitive. Everything about keeping Daphnia is just the terror that is involved with keeping Daphnia. Because we got this culture about a year ago, and I tried to keep it indoors. We had a tank set up. Kumori's tank behind me is where we had them. And every single week it crashed. It crashed like 4 times until finally I was like, you know what? I'm going to throw it in a bucket. I'm going to put it on my back porch and I'm going to leave it there. And we're going to see if it survives. So that's what I did. I threw it in a 5-gallon bucket. No water changes. I didn't feed it. I didn't do anything except throw old fish tank water in whenever the water evaporated. So I left it out all summer on our back porch, and it thrived. I don't know how. It just did. And I kept thinking, oh gosh, I can keep this alive outside doing absolutely nothing, but I can't keep it alive indoors. What am I doing? And I was dreading summer ending because I'm like, oh great, I'm going to get it inside and it's just going to instantly die because I can't keep it alive inside. But we did it. We moved it in here as soon as the temperature dropped into like the 40s. Brought it indoors, stuck it in here. I have, let me see if I can move this camera, tilt it a little bit so you guys can see. We have that bucket there, that orange little bucket. That is my Daphnia culture. And so we stuck it there, and I was like, I need to look up how to keep this thing alive because I can't. And the information online is very contradictory. There are some people who say you need to keep a filter in there, keep your water miraculously clean, feed very little, you know, suck up all the grime out of the bottom of the tank daily, like keep it pristine. And then, but every time I do that, it dies. And then some people like, feed it yeast. Don't feed it yeast. That'll kill it. Do water changes. Don't do water changes. It's okay to use prime water. It's not okay to use prime water. Like everything contradicts itself. And I was like, I don't know how to keep this alive, you guys. I don't. And then I was watching a video and somebody was going through the normal, you know, change the water, keep a filter in there, do this, do this, do this, this. And they mentioned that in the old days of fish keeping, they used to set up Daphnia cultures and basically let them live in filth. They used to feed them dead animals and sewage because apparently they can live in sewage. And I was like, well, that doesn't make any sense because everybody's telling me to keep my water clean and don't overfeed them, but they can live in sewage? That seems weird. And so I did a little more research and I found that Daphnia can live in very low oxygen water. They have the ability to basically almost make their own oxygen. They can pull it out of their environment in a way that's not usual to things. And so they can live in basically absolute filth and not die. They have very strange water requirements in that like high nitrates and ammonia and stuff like that doesn't seem to hurt them, but they're extremely susceptible to heavy metals and prime. My dechlorinator, or any dechlorinator, is like really bad for them. So I was like, okay, no water changes. So I stopped doing water changes completely. I only throw water from my fish tanks in, my filthy, filthy fish tanks, that hasn't had a water change within the last 24 to 48 hours. So there's no prime going in. It's had time to evaporate off. I do treat with prime to get rid of the heavy metals and the chlorine and stuff, but then I let it sit and age. And I haven't been feeding it, not really. Because everybody's like, oh, feed it this. No, feed it this. Be careful you don't overfeed, it'll crash. And I'm like, well, it lived in a bucket outside without any food. And it didn't die. So, I stopped feeding it traditional food. Threw a bunch of bladder snails in there. I threw some leaf litter in there. Every time I have a guppy fish die, I throw a dead guppy in there. I just throw my scraps in. And they're thriving. All my cultures. They're doing perfectly fine. I have millions of baby Daphnia. It's perfectly fine. And I feel like, what is this? All this advice I keep getting, and it's completely counterintuitive. So if you have Daphnia cultures and you're having trouble keeping it alive, just let them live in filth. Apparently, that's their thing. They're doing absolutely fine. I have thousands and thousands of Daphnia. My fish are very happy because I keep feeding them off. But yeah, it seems to be working. I don't have a filter in there. I have an airline. And it's not even to put like oxygen or mess up with the tension of the water or anything. It's literally just there to stir the water a little bit so the particulates stay suspended in the water a little bit longer. And, you know, once a day, every other day or something, I just go and I stir it up to keep that stuff floating. And I leave it alone. I just throw dead things in and snails and leaves. And it seems to be working. The snails eat all the nutrients and they spit it back out. And the infusoria feeds off all of that snail poo and whatnot, and the detritus and leaves, and the Daphnia feed on the infusoria. It does require a light though. I have learned you need a good light. We put a light on ours. It helps promote the infusoria, which is what they eat. So yeah, absolutely nuts. Now, hello Guppy puppies. I love your name. That is really cute. Hello, Silverstream Bettas. I was just replying to all your comments this morning. Let's see. Guppy Puppy says, we have 2 mystery snails that are always mating, but have yet to lay any clutches. I know that both sexes can have the same reproduction organ, but is it possible for same-sex snails to mate? No, it is not possible for them to mate when it's mystery snails. They have very definitive genders. They don't have the same reproduction organs, but sometimes the males try to mate with other males because they're dumb. But if any of yours are female, you'll probably be getting clutches soon. They tend to not wait very long, but they can. They can store the sperm for up to a year. So once conditions have met their internal requirements that say, this is lovely, we have lots of food, I like my home, they'll spit out some egg clutches. It just takes a while, and sometimes it can take like, we stopped having clutches for like 3 months. But then once they start, they don't stop. You'll get a clutch like every other day. It's crazy. Let's see. What else have I missed? I'm skimming comments. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah. Silverstream Bettas says, I had my mystery snails for over a month now and no clutches, though only 2 look fully grown, so I don't know. They'll start breeding usually about the time they hit quarter size, but not always. I've had some that waited until they were like full golf ball size. And it, of course, depends on their genders and how used to your tanks they are. When we first got ours, it took at least a couple weeks before they started breeding. And then they bred nonstop. We had clutches every day to every other day for weeks. And then none for 3 months. And now we're back to having them like every other day. I've had 7 clutches this week. One day I woke up and we had 3 clutches. So, I don't know. Snails, I love them, but they're confusing sometimes. I really, really love snails. I didn't think I was going to. When we first set up this fish room, we had no intention of getting snails or guppies. We were just doing bettas. And then I was like, oh, but snails will help clean the fish tanks. No. But I thought they would. That's not really how mystery snails work, but sort of. But we got some and now I love them. I love them so much. Snails are so cute. Goodbye, guppy puppies. Have a good weekend. Let's see. Ooh, blues and gold mystery snails. Ooh, and a black. I don't have any black. I don't have any black and I don't have any chestnuts. I have all the other colors, but not those. I want some, but I don't. Oh God, don't remind me of water changes. I have been failing my water changes this week. What? A little bit. It's been so busy. So I haven't done any water changes in here for literally a week. I have to do them today because I haven't. The tanks can wait a week in here because I change them every 3 days generally, but they can wait a week. The jars cannot. The jars have to be done every other day, except this week where I cheated a little bit and I threw some prime in all the jars so that I could skip a water change because I was just done with life. Food poisoning. But they're doing fine. We didn't lose any fish. They're all good. Purple magenta snails are so pretty. We got some. Finally. I tried to buy some when we first got our snails. And it wasn't working out. We bought a couple of purples. Nobody had magentas at the time. Bought a couple purples, all of them but one died. And luckily that one purple snail bred. So then we got more purple snails and we got magentas out of it. So we have most of the colors now. I don't know what our current clutches are going to be. I did see some ivories, some golds. What I think are going to be jades or blues. I don't know if we have any purples. It's so hard to tell when they're little because especially the magentas are very light pink when they're born. And they don't really color up until they're bigger than dime size. Until then, they're really hard to differentiate between any of the other colors because they're such a pale color. Purples, you know, within the first couple of weeks because they get super dark super fast. About the time they're pea-sized, you're like, for sure that's purple. Oh no, poor little ivories. I love ivories, they're my favorite color. I have a gazillion of them. I ship snails. I have a lot of snails. In fact, I have a lot of snails that are about to be thrown into my breeding tank because they're getting too big to ship. We have a bunch of blues and ivories that are just about to hit way bigger than quarter sized. Way bigger. And I'm gonna have to like throw them in with my breeding tank because they're too big to ship. At a certain point, you don't want to ship them because by the time they get to where they're going and adjust, they're gonna be too old to breed. And they're gonna be too easy to crush, and I don't like shipping them once they're over quarter sized. So once they get too far over that, they just get thrown in the breeding tank. They can go live with all my other snails. Lord knows I have enough baby snails now. With the 3 clutches that just hatched, there's probably several hundred itty bitty baby snails in there. How was everybody's Halloween? Halloween is my favorite holiday. Determination. Literally, my favorite holiday. I would rather do Halloween than Christmas. I love it so much. It's just the whole idea of Halloween that people get to dress up in ridiculous costumes. Nobody cares. Nobody judges. You go door to door talking to complete strangers and they feel obligated to give you candy. And you get to run around at night and nobody thinks you're creepy. And, you know, kids get to stay up past their bedtime. It's a great, lovely holiday. I absolutely love Halloween. It is my favorite. And I love the whole morbid, scary part of it too. So for like the entire week of Halloween, you have all these great horror movies and games. And I just love Halloween. It's my favorite holiday. And it's my daughter's favorite holiday because her birthday is like 3-4 days before Halloween. And so for her, it's a whole nother thing because she gets like Halloween themed birthday cakes and costume parties for her birthday. And then she gets to go trick-or-treating and get candy. It's like the best part of the year. And this year, this is our first year in this house. We've almost been here a year. We moved here December 22nd. Yes, that close to Christmas. So we've almost been here a year now. This is our first Halloween here. And sadly, it is our first Halloween without my daughter's great-grandfather. Usually every Halloween we go over to his house and my husband hands out candy for him, and me and my daughter go around his neighborhood and trick or treat. It's something we've done every year since she was born. But unfortunately he passed away this year. So it was our first Halloween not being able to go around that neighborhood. So we went around our neighborhood this year, which is a very small neighborhood, but everybody gave really good candy. It's a lot of... There's meowing. My cat Emo's outside the door. Emo, go away! He's like, no, I went in. Please pet me. So, yeah. We had a fun Halloween. It hailed. It thundered. It lightened. It rained. It was windy. It was freezing. I think it got down to like the 30s when we were trick-or-treating. But we had so much fun. I love Halloween. I can't wait for next year. I wanted to have it again. I just want it to be Halloween all the time. Absolutely love it. No, you missed out on candy. That's the best part. No, it's not. Running around after dark is the best part. Candy is close, though. I can't eat Halloween candy. I tried. I had some Skittles. Food poisoning does not agree with Skittles. Don't do it. Did anybody go as anything cool? I went as Reptar. The best costume ever. Yes, Reptar from the Rugrats. I was Reptar. Reptar. I've been waiting for years to be Reptar. I didn't know it was a thing. My husband found me a Reptar onesie and I was like, oh, I want to be a dinosaur. Rawr! So yes, I was Reptar. We did because my daughter's birthday, one of her requirements for her birthday party this year, because we were going to have people over to play board games. And so we threw a Halloween party where everyone was required to wear a onesie. We had someone come as a cat. We had someone come in the pink bunny costume from A Christmas Story. My husband was a hippo. My daughter was an anime bear, and I was Reptar. And I had way too much fun. Oh. Yeah, it was literally raining here for Halloween up until the second we went outside. It was hailing and raining, and my daughter had to change her costume last minute because she was going to be zombie Katniss. So a zombie archer. And then we couldn't find our zombie paint because we moved and we never finished unpacking the boxes. So then she was just going to be an archer. But she has like real archery equipment because she does archery classes, and for her birthday she got her own bow and arrows and a quiver and bracer and finger gloves and everything. But we couldn't let her take it out in the rain. So last minute she went in her bear onesie. It was fine. She was freezing. Yes, one fish, two fish. They sort of are. That's where we got ours. Yeah, they're like super soft and fuzzy onesies, and they're great. They look like costumes, but they're also pajamas and just fun to lounge in. They're very, very soft, and mine is the coolest, and I wish I had it in here to show you. It's in my loft. I'm tempted to go get it because it's amazing. I love being Reptar. I'm a giant kid at heart. That's great passion for pets. She said we have ginormous bushes and trees in front of our house. Oh, my daughter brought me a Reptar. You're amazing. Thank you. Please pet that cat. He won't stop crying.
I noticed.
Guys.
He's very
guys.
loud.
Reptar. Not even kidding. Reptar. Roar. I was so happy. I was so excited. I really wanted to be Reptar. I know that makes no sense. But I was born in the 80s. Early 90s were my cartoon jam. So I watched so much Rugrats. And the idea that I could be Reptar just made me like a giddy little kid. I was like, oh, that's the greatest thing ever. You have no idea. This is so soft. So soft. It's like teddy bear soft, only better. It's so comfortable, my cat keeps sleeping in it. It's great, and it has a tail. And it's just the best thing. It makes me so happy. I never thought I'd be so happy, but I saw that and I was like, yes, I am going to be a dinosaur. So happy. And my husband was a hippo. Hippos are his favorite animal, and he pretends it's not. But we named one of our guppies Hippo because it's his favorite animal. It's the best. My cats did not know what to think of all the costumes. They were just like, okay. But then they found out how soft they were, and now they want to sleep on them all the time because they're really cozy. And my old cat, Emo, he turned 16 right before Halloween. And he's such a bony little thing. He only likes to sleep where things are comfortable, so he thinks those onesies are great. I make a nest out of it, and he just lays in and gets all comfy. My poor old cat. For his birthday, he got a bow tie. He looks so dapper and adorable. Love it. I wish I had bought one years ago, because it is the cutest thing that has ever existed. What, child? My daughter is saying things.
Please let him in. He's so needy.
Oh, fine, let him in. Come here, kitty. Emo. Let's see if I can grab him. Come here, good boy. This is the Emo. See, he has a bow tie. It's the cutest thing that's ever existed. Next to Emo. He's a good boy. But he is 16 years old. And he weighs about as much as a bird. I think he weighs less than 4 pounds. He's all bones. My daughter is spying on me from the doorway. Hi.
You're friend now too.
You can come in if you want to. You can say hi. They don't bite. Your hair is not brushed, but it's fine. No one's going to judge you. No, see, camera. There she is. She's running away. All the cats want to break into my office. They can't stand the fact that the door is closed. They're just like, please let us in. Fine, let her in. Come here, Buff. Another cat. Buff. Hi, Buff. She is our big 13.5-pound white Turkish fan. Come here. And she hates being picked up. But she is the fluffiest kitty that has ever existed. Look, who is that? Is that you? She's like, no, put me down, please. I don't like being picked up. You're a good girl. Go take a nap. So many cats. So many. My daughter locked them in here. Now they're stuck in here. Cats, man. I love them, but I'm deathly allergic. You wouldn't know that because I have 3 of them. But they were here first. So I just live with the fact that my cats will kill me. Emo? Take a nap. He's already sitting on my Reptar onesie. So yeah, it's been a very busy week. Lots of sickness and live streams for charity and school curriculum we were doing and Daphnia cultures, and my mealworm population has taken over. Oh my gosh. So we set up my mealworm culture at the beginning of the year, and we were doing really, really well. We had all of our mealworms hatch into beetles, and then we had a crash. My entire beetle culture died. It got like too humid and it molded and it killed all my beetles, and all I had left were like a handful of mealworms. So I've been waiting for ages for these mealworms to grow up and become beetles to produce more mealworms. So I haven't been using any of my mealworms for like months now because I've been waiting for them to grow up. Finally, they've gotten a decent population, and now I have so many mealworms that I can't keep them fed. They're in this little container with like a bunch of oats and carrots that I have to throw in there every day, and I just redid their culture last week, and already they're almost completely out of oats. They've just eaten it all. There's probably thousands of mealworms, which is great because once I have an abundance of them, I am going to throw them in some fish food. That's why I have mealworms. I use the really, really tiny ones, and I hand feed them to all of my Bettas and my Guppies. And the big ones are chopped up and thrown in gel food for my snails and my fish. It's a dual purpose food, but I just love them. They're cute. I love bugs. Oh, coffee. I love coffee. I need coffee so badly. It's just been one of those weeks. We have been so incredibly busy. My office has been terrible, you guys. So, this is my office. Let's take a quick look. This is my office. This is where all my fish live. This is where I live. Here all the time. Fish, 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 fish. So, let's see if we can get you set back down. This was originally supposed to be my working office. I am a copy editor. It's what I do. I read books and I review them and I tell people what grammar mistakes they make. That's how I get paid. So originally this was supposed to be my work office. I have my computer in here. I have all of my books set up in here, whatnot. And then I decided to make it a fish room. It started with 4 tanks. We now have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 3 Daphnia cultures in here. It's a lot. That means heaters, lights, air pumps, like all of the stuff the fish room needs, plus a giant new printer for shipping. My office is not handling it well. We have discovered over the last week or two that anytime my computer decides it needs to work hard at something, and I mean minutely hard, like I'm trying to watch YouTube and browse something at the same time, I flip the circuit breaker in my office and boom, I have no power. It's great. It's happened 4 times now, including last night, which was making me freak out because then I have to go downstairs, go in the garage, flip the circuits, come back, boot the computer up, and sometimes that flips it again. So I may have to move my office out of my office because I'm not moving the fish. Nope. But I would maybe moving my computer to another room. I have now taken up the entire upstairs in my house. My husband decided it was too humid up here for him to have his game loft. So I have the run of the place. I've already taken over the spare room with fish, and now I'm going to take over the loft. Has anybody else had anything cool happen this week? It's been like 2 weeks since I've done a live stream because I've been too busy, you guys. I'm trying. I really am. But there's so much going on. I'm so exhausted already. Has anybody done anything cool fishy-wise? New pets? Pet losses? Live streams coming up? Feel free to advertise. While I sip my coffee. There are now 2 cats sitting at my door. Like, why is this not open? Can we not escape? No, you cannot. You live here now. I'm sorry. You live in the fish room. Would you like a mermaid costume? Hi, Emo. He's just looking at me like, please let me out. Let's see. I really want winter to end already. I mean, I love winter. It's great. And it's cold. But I want to breed more fish. Let's see. 1 fish, 2 fish says, I have 2 tanks that refuse to cycle. I did finally post after a month's absence. Life is slowing down a little bit. Yeah, I know how that goes. Busy. I try not to, but every year fall is the worst. I can't keep up with it. And I'm also trying to keep up with my actual job at the same time. And I'm doing bare minimum. Bare minimum. Because I maintain a blog for all of my book reviews and editing services and whatnot. And every Friday I give away free books. And I'm doing bare minimum while posting. I'm just like, here's your free books for this week. I got other things to do. It's just so busy. Yes, we host celebrations for all the birthdays. I love them. It's just nuts. There's too many. Too many. And it gets worse once you throw in my husband's schedule. Because he doesn't work a normal schedule. He works for the Department of Transportation for Texas. And he's a project manager. And so they literally have him flying out of our city across the state every other week. So he will leave here Monday morning at like 3 a.m. and come back Thursday night at like 10 p.m. every other week. He's just gone, other side of the state. So we technically only get to see him about half the year. And now that we were in the middle of like tornado and hurricane season, he is on emergency hours. So they have him on call 12 hours a day until the emergencies end, while also traveling. So trying to get things done is really, really hard because we have one family car and he has it with him when he goes. He takes it to the airport. So I am normally left without a vehicle for literally half the year, and he's gone half the year. And so like we have to schedule everything on the weekends because that is when he's home. So like grocery shopping, going to get our high school curriculum books, all of the plans for birthdays and holidays and everything has to be crammed into the weekend, which is also when I do my water changes. He could, but it would be so expensive to take an Uber to the airport because he does it so often. The airport is about 30-40 minutes away. And he's traveling to and from the airport at least 2 to 4 times a week. It's a lot. It's a lot. I don't like driving anyway, so I just let him take the car. Most of the time I don't need it, but it does mean that scheduling things like going grocery shopping has to be done on the weekend. So my schedule is like super, super busy. Everything is crammed into the weekend. And it gets tight sometimes, which is why you will not always see this live stream go up, because it's Saturday morning, and sometimes on Saturday morning I'm just like, I have jar water changes to do today, I have tank water changes to do today. Sometimes we're going grocery shopping on Saturdays. There's planning for the holidays and the birthdays, and it's just like, that's a lot in one day. I'm an introvert. I like to rest. But I always try to keep these live streams scheduled the day before. So if you don't see a notice for it the day before, I probably don't have a live stream. I always try to be very prompt about getting my schedule up. I'm a very punctual person. You will notice that I'm always here on time. Usually I'm here like an hour before. I don't like being late. So I will always have this thing scheduled like the day before, so you always know it's going to happen. Or when it's not going to happen and you have some other way to entertain. But yeah, it's been busy. I'm ready for the holidays. I want it to be Christmas, and then I want winter to be over so I can go breed fish. I need to get rid of all my Bettas, but I can't ship them right. Well, I can ship them right now, but it's iffy because winter. But I'm so ready to get rid of them. We have so many. So many. The water changes, guys. The water changes are killing me. Killing me. It's like, I don't know the current count. I know there was originally 150 of them. Water changes on jars, all of them, every other day. Every other day. It's a lot. It is a lot. I'm doing it. I'm keeping up with it. It's great. I love my fish. But I'm ready for them to go to new homes. I really am. Oh, but some of them are so pretty. I wish I could keep them all. Some of them are so cool. Some that are just so pretty, and I'm like, if I could keep like 10 more of you, I would. But I don't have space for 10 more fish in here. I don't have space in here for like one more fish. But, oh, I love them. And now that they're all getting their koi markings, they're so pretty. I love the ones that are getting their koi markings. They're really slow on marbling into their koi, I've noticed. I don't know if that's good or bad. It's hard. That's how we do it. Betta breeding is hard. It's funny because I see a lot of people on the betta groups online that are like, I want to start betta breeding. What is your advice to me? And my first instinct is tell them, don't do it. And I don't want to discourage people from doing something they love. But if you're thinking about betta breeding, you really have to think about it. And I'm saying this not as somebody who's been in this like years and years and years and years, and I just want to keep everyone else out of the hobby. This is me getting into this a year ago and going into it knowing I was getting in way over my head. I was well prepared for this. You know, I did my research, I got my funds, I got my entire fish room set up really quickly. I did my live filters, I did everything the right way. And I can tell you, probably don't do it. Because when people say, you know, betta breeding takes a lot of time, a lot of money, I mean, they're serious. Don't just think that they're saying that to discourage you. They're serious. It takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of money. I have probably spent over $2,000 setting up this fish room in the year I've done it. And it's my own money, so I don't care. I can waste however I want, but like it's a real thing. If you're like 15 and you're thinking, I want to breed bettas, I have a male and a female, I'm gonna do it. Don't. Wait, learn, research, set up, because it is expensive and it does take a lot of time. And even if you do everything right, if you do all the studying, all the research, you get your fish room set up how you're supposed to, you do all the live cultures, and you do everything perfectly, it can still fail spectacularly. Because there is always that element of the fish not doing what you want them to do. You can take 2 fish and know all the research and the behavioral stuff that you need to know to breed them, stick them in the tank, and you could still lose both of them. Because that's how betta breeding is. Even if they're the perfect fish and they're well conditioned and you know what to look for, they can still kill each other. Sometimes outright, sometimes from injuries and, infections later. Like, it is a risk that you're doing with your fish. So if you get emotionally attached to your fish, don't breed bettas. Because there is a very real chance you're going to kill them. It can happen. The best breeders lose fish. So just be aware of what you're getting into. And it's not, me saying don't do it because, there's enough betta breeders, and it's oversaturated. It's seriously, think about what you're doing, because it is a lot. It is a lot. And I don't think a lot of people take it as seriously as they need to. I see a lot on groups where people are like, oh, my betta bred accidentally. And I'm like, how does that happen? You put 2 bettas together? A male and a female? And they're like, what do I do? I don't have food. What do I feed the babies? And I'm just like, your fish should not be in this situation. It shouldn't happen. And the best thing you can probably do at this point is let them die. Because you're not prepared. You are not prepared for the water changes and the live feeding and all of that stuff. It is a lot. You really, emphasizing really need to do your research. Yes, exactly. Dedication and responsibility. I mean, you have to be ready for it. Because even me, I knew what I was getting into. Absolutely knew it, and I accept it. I accept this is my responsibility. So even though I complain that, I have to do all these water changes, I still accept that every other day I'm going to have to get up and do those water changes. I'm not going to skip them, because I know what happens if you skip them. But seriously, you have to be prepared for it. Good morning, Dee. We're talking about betta breeding and why people shouldn't do it. I'm such a naysayer. No, seriously. It's so much effort, and it takes so much time and so much research, and so much can go wrong. If you're not prepared, don't do it. Oh, you worked today. I feel so bad for you. I'm terrible about that, because I work whatever days I want to work. So I make fun of people who have regular jobs. I'm so sorry. It is, Dee. Because you've done it. It's way more work than people think it's going to be. And a lot of newbies think, I can just get a male and a female, I'll stick them together, and then I'll separate them, and I'll have babies, and I'll figure out what to do with the babies. And that's true. You can do that. But I don't advise it. I do not. It is a lot of work. And there's so much that goes into it you really have to be prepared for. Because baby bettas aren't like other baby fish. They're not going to eat whatever you throw in the fish tank. They want their live foods. They need their live foods. And they're going to get aggressive, and they're going to try and kill each other. And bettas in particular, betta diseases move very, very quickly. Most of the things a betta is going to get ill with, it can die from in, anywhere from 24 hours to 48 hours. There's so many that move so quickly. So you really have to be prepared. You really have to observe and be dedicated to your fish. You have to spend time with them. Because, oh man, it can go so wrong so fast. Oh, that makes me sad because I want to see you breed again. But at the same time, as somebody who also breeds, I understand completely. I love the breeding aspect of it, so I know I'm definitely going to do it again. But, like, I don't know that it's something I would do, like, year long. Because you need break. Because it is a lot of, like, mental and physical labor. I enjoy it. I do, I swear. I'm not just naysaying betta fish, but, like, oh, it bothers me so much when you go in the betta groups, the newbie betta groups, and they're like, should I breed my fish? Here he is. They don't even have, like, a female yet. They're just like, I want to breed him. Isn't he pretty? I bet he'd have great babies. And I'm like, oh, don't. You don't know what you're getting into. Because there's just so much that goes into it. And if anybody out there who is watching this video later, or now, presently, is thinking about getting into breeding bettas, and you seriously want to know about it and talk about it, hit me up. Message me. I will tell you everything I feel you need to know. Which is a lot, because I've done a gazillion hours of research. And I have hands-on experience. But, like, if you're really seriously thinking about it and you want tips, talk to other breeders. Don't just, like, go into it and be like, oh, I have a pretty male fish, let me go buy him a female and breed him. Don't. Just don't. Let's see. Agreed. That's another thing, is people get into, like, breeding betta fish thinking, I'm going to sell them all and I'm going to be rich. I know there's lots of people on YouTube who say, you're not going to make a profit, and you're really not going to make a profit. You're just not. Because bettas are just one of the harder fish to breed. And so much goes into them financially because they're so difficult to breed. Because you have to keep them all separate, and you have to have pristine water conditions, and you have to feed them live foods, and, like, there's a lot that goes into it. And you're not going to make very much money off them. So if you're thinking about, to sell them for a profit, you're not. You're just not. You're better off breeding guppies. Same D. People see home bed bettas and they think, oh, well, commercial bettas are better because they're commercial. They don't understand how dedicated we betta breeders are to the health of our fish. And it's so much better to get a home bed betta. I can talk today. I really can. I swear. They're so much better when they're homebred. As long as the person knows what they're doing. Small caveat. Because we take such good care of our fish. And I'm not saying, commercial people don't. But at the end of the day, their goal is profit. So they're going to breed their fish quickly, they're going to grow them quickly, and they're going to get them out quickly. And they don't care what happens to them once it leaves their hands. They don't care. They know most of those fish are going to go die on a shelf. But that doesn't concern them because they just want profit. Us homebred betta breeders, we care. We care a lot. When I send my fish out, I send them with pages, literally pages of information on how to care for your betta and how to acclimate them correctly, and what to feed them and what I feed them and what the genetics of my fish are, so that everybody has as much information as possible. And then I also provide them with like my email and be like, if you have any questions, message me. I will be your fish godmother and teach you all the things. Because I care. I raise these things from tiny little specks. And, you know, they're my little babies. Hello, Otter Creek Aquatics. I have been seeing your name a lot recently. I think it's because you were in my notifications because I follow you. And I love your name because otters are cute. Aw, thank you, one fish, two fish. No, I love my fish. I love them desperately. I try not to get emotionally attached because I know they're all gonna die. I'm a realist. I know they're all gonna die. They're fish. But as long as they are in my care, or I have the ability to extend my care outwards, I take the best care of them humanly possible. I really, really try. Because they're my fishies. This is the responsibility I have chosen to take on. And so I take it very, very, very seriously. I keep looking behind me because there is a cat there. And there is a cat over here on that side. And I don't trust them because they get into everything. Seriously, everything. My cats love catappa leaves. You know, the leaves you stick in your fish tanks? Indian almond leaves. They love them. Buffy sneaks in here and she finds my pile of catappa leaves and she chews on them. And I don't appreciate it. At all. Nope. Bella also sneaks in here. Forget what it is she gets into. They get into everything. They lick the stupid deli containers. They chew on the catappa leaves. I have yarn in here for making spawning mops, and I love to play with that. All of the cats think my fish tanks are their water bowls. They have water bowls 2 feet outside this door. 2 feet. But they won't drink out of it. They want fish water, because fish water is tastier, I guess. Cats, man, cats and fish. They leave the fish alone, though. They generally don't bother them. I heard you say small specks breeding your bettas. I don't know what you mean. It's too early in the morning. We were talking about breeding bettas, though. That I can tell you. Good morning, Koi. How are you? I swear I'm here today. I'm really spotty with the live stream, guys. It's just been so busy. But I always schedule them the day before. So if on Friday you don't see a notification, it's not happening. I can't keep up with schedules like everyone else. My life is too busy. But I try. I try. But yeah, betta breeding. I'm glad I got into it. It's really, really fun. And I love it. And I love my fish. And I love my guppies. And I love my snails. And I love my Daphnia. That taught me a very important lesson this week. You want to know how not to kill a Daphnia tank? Don't throw a baby guppy in it. I had issues. I have these two. Let me see if I can show you. Over here in this window, I have, I can move my finger. There. I have 2 cultures of Daphnia sitting there. And they're kind of my backup cultures in case my 5-gallon bucket of Daphnia dies. And they're doing really good. They're breeding over there. It's fantastic. And yesterday, I looked over and I realized one of my Daphnia cultures was empty. There was water, there was snails, there's the frog bit and the leaves I throw in there. But there was no Daphnia. And I was like, Well, that's weird because the cup next to it's doing fine. How could I possibly have crashed this culture? And I'm sitting there looking at it thinking, where are the Daphnia? And I see something move. And I was like, is that what I think it is? Yep. See, the day before, I had thrown some more duckweed and frogbit in there to eat up the nitrates. And somehow in that pile of frogbit and duckweed was a baby guppy. The baby guppy ate my entire culture before I knew he was in there. Lucky little booger. So I had to go catch the stupid guppy out and throw it back in my tank, and that culture was just gone. It's okay, I got more Daphnia and threw them in there, but it was so funny because it was this little tiny guppy, but it ate every single Daphnia in there. There was hundreds of Daphnia in there. I don't know how long this fish was in there. I think about 24 hours, but like it wrecked that culture. God. Guppies, man. Guppies are voracious. Let's see. What is everybody saying? Oh, Koi is taking a break from breeding. Bettas also. Ooh, but you have a male. You'll be posting a video today. Ooh, I want to see. I need to catch up on my YouTube videos. See, I have 2 YouTube channels. Not a lot of people know that, but I do. Because I have one that is dedicated to fish. And then I have a very, very old one I don't ever post on from like years and years ago when I was doing art. And so it has like art tutorials and like gaming let's plays. Literally have not posted on it in like 7 years, so don't get excited. There's like nothing there. But when I browse YouTube, on my fish channel, I follow all of the fish and animal channels that I like to watch. So like all of the other betta breeders and things like Ants Canada and, you know, just animal related videos. I like to watch them on this channel. And then when I go to watch like the ridiculous stuff I watch, like Jenna Marbles and Liza Koshy and like a bunch of other like YouTube stuff, I go on my gaming channel and watch them there so that my news feed stays very separate with the type of videos I have. And so I've been trying to catch up on videos on my other channel for like a week or 2 now, and I haven't watched any fish videos because they're all on this one. I have a lot of videos to catch up on. A lot. I don't know, I might get back into doing some gaming related videos because I am a gamer. And I watch a lot of games, and we've been doing a charity event this last week for ARC, which I'm very, 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 very involved in. So, I don't know, I may do some gaming videos at some point in time if I can find time. I have no time. I have no time for anything right now. And now it's baking season, so I have less time. I love baking season. We're going to make some apple pies and pumpkin pies this week. And then closer to Christmas, I'm going to make about 1 million cookies. I love baking. And I take my Christmas cookies very seriously. Every year we make somewhere between 400 to 800 cookies. In that range. It's a Christmas tradition in my family. When I was a little girl, my mother was big on baking. And every Christmas she would make a bunch of cookies. One year she made so many cookies, there was no way we could possibly eat them all. So we put some cookie plates together and we took them around our neighborhood and gave cookie plates to everyone in our neighborhood, like 20 houses. And it became a tradition after that we always overbake our cookies every Christmas. We make hundreds more than we could possibly ever eat. We put together cookie plates with the recipes for the different types of cookies, and we put an explanation of our family tradition of making too many cookies on purpose. And we go around the neighborhood and we give them to all of our family and friends and neighbors. And it has become a tradition that I have continued for years and years and years and years. And so this year we're in a new neighborhood and I'm looking forward to it because I'm going to surprise all of my neighbors with cookies. You should always give your neighbors cookies because it keeps them from getting mad at you. If you give them cookies, the next time they want to complain that you're throwing a party or, you know, your lawn isn't mowed, they will think twice. They will think, oh, but they gave us those lovely cookies on Christmas. I probably should be okay with this. And so that's what we do. And they'd never get mad at us for anything. Because if my neighbors did that, if they brought me cookies and then they threw a party, I'd be like, oh, but they bring me cookies, let them have their party. So that's what I do. So we're gonna go give all our new neighbors cookies. I am tempted to send out cookies this year. Like, I seriously make way too many cookies. I think last year we made chocolate crinkles, which are like a brownie-based cookie with powdered sugar on them. So good. Snickerdoodles, we make soft pumpkin cookies with homemade glaze. We make chocolate chip cookies. They're soft pudding-based chocolate chip cookies, so they're really delicious. We usually make somewhere between 4 to 6 different types of cookies, and then we also make apple pie, pumpkin pie, banana bread, pumpkin bread. My husband's trying to get me to make pecan pies. I'm really into baking. So, like, we make a gazillion baked goods and send them out. They're so good, you guys. I am a mediocre cook. I will admit it. I'm terrible. But I'm really good at baking. Koi's mailing out channel stickers. I need to make channel stickers. I really want to. I want stickers. I love stickers. I think every little girl loves stickers at some point. I used to collect stickers. I just don't have that effort in me yet. Not yet. Someday. But yeah. Holiday seasons. Oh, my cat fell asleep. Let me see. Can you see him? He's so cute. That's what he does all day. He lives in my fish room because it stays warm in here because of all the fish tanks. Stays about 80 degrees and about 48 to 51 humidity. So he likes to come in here and lay next to the fish tanks and just nap all day because it's nice and cozy. Let's see, what time is it? Oh, it's over our time, you guys. We've been going for almost an hour and 20 minutes. And I have water changes to do today. So, yeah, busy week. Been super busy. If you want to know how to keep a Daphne culture alive, rewatch this video because I explained it at the very beginning. That we figured out how to keep them alive. But I gotta go do water changes and make homemade soup because food poisoning is real. I'm so tired of soup. I just want real food. I just baked banana bread and I can't even eat it. I'm gonna make apple pie this week and I can't eat it. I miss food. Yes, rewatch this video. We talked about Daphne cultures, we talked about breeding bettas, we talked about how busy the season is, we talked about homeschool curriculum. It's been a busy morning. And now I have to go do water changes and then go get in on the charity live stream event that I'm involved in because I have been neglecting it terribly. And I believe it ends this Sunday and I need to go participate. I gotta go catch horses or something. I don't know, it's a dinosaur game, but there's horses and I'm gonna go tame some. Oh god, me too. If I could just randomly learn people's addresses without them thinking I was totally creepy stalking them, I would just send presents to everyone. Mostly baked goods, because I'm good at that. Or live cultures, or frog bit. I really want to send people frog bit. I have so much. I feel really bad every time I have to throw it out. Because frog bit was expensive to buy. I had to buy a bunch of it to get it to live. And now I have it like everywhere. So if anybody orders a fish or a snail or something and you want some frog bit, just shout. I'm just going to throw some in. Seriously, I will just throw some in. Because like, it's real the amount of frog bit I have. Like, I have so much frog bit. Every single tank. So much. How does somebody buy from me now? So, I have a little fishy video here on YouTube somewhere that has all of my fish in it. On Instagram, I have pictures of all of my fish and snails. Just email my email, I don't care. And tell me what you're looking at and I will arrange an invoice and send you stuff. I do have heat packs. I don't know how well they will keep things alive after a certain temperature, but I'm willing to try. All Bettas are $10. All mystery snails are $1. All, let's see, my Ramshorns are doing kind of crappy, so I wouldn't buy those. But they're like 50 cents. Guppies are 50 cents. I usually throw females in for free because I have a gazillion of them. So you only have to buy the males. Just tell me you want some females and I'll throw enough in for your trios or whatever. I'm willing to try to ship Daphnia, but I've never tried it, so probably don't. I have shipped beetles. They seem to do okay. I have live cultures of everything, so if like you're really interested and you can't find something, just message me and be like, hey, I want to buy a fish, but also, do you think you can send me some vinegar eels? And I'll be like, sure, here. Because I'm not in this for profit. Whatever, I have started cultures. As long as I have enough to give people, I am willing to spread the joy. Same with Frederick, just ask, I'll throw some in. Because I have a gazillion. I can teach you how to sex mystery snails. It's not easy, but I can tell you how. Let me grab a snail. Here, I'll just take you with me. We'll go find a snail and I'll show you how. Because I get asked this a lot and I've figured out a way to do it. That is not that bad. Let's see, where can I find a good snail? We're gonna go down here on the floor. Switching camera. Woo! Okay, let me pull a snail out of here. The guppies. The guppies are real, you guys. I see a big one. Oh! This is so wet. Here's one of my for snails. For sale snails. So, an easy way to sex mystery snails. Pick it up. Put it just under the water and wait. See, he's starting to come out. When they're in the water but they're upside down, they think they're floating because they do that often. And so his first inclination is to stick his little feelers out and see if he can find anything to latch onto. Usually, if you wait a few seconds, see he's starting to come out, they will stick out their siphon, they'll drink some oxygen, and then they'll look for something they can cling to turn themselves back around. If you have your fingers here on the bottom right of the shell where it doesn't interfere with their trap door, and they have to reach to grab your fingers, they will reach in that direction and you can look in the hole above their heads to see if they are male or female. See, right now he's trying to figure out, he's like, okay, that's air. How can I get down? And you can look in the little space above his little head. And if you see a pale bulge on the upper left-hand side, it's male. Sometimes it'll be more towards the center. If you see nothing, it's female. But this is the easiest way I've found to be able to check. See, now he's like, how do I get down from here? So he's like searching around with his little feelers, trying to find something to cling to. And if he ever aims towards my thumb, he'll feel it and he'll stretch that way. And it will be easier to check. I'm looking up in his shell now, and I believe this one is male. Yeah, the guppies are like, what's happening? Yeah, looking up in his shell, I am going to guess he's male. I can see a little bit better than you guys can. But see, it only takes a few minutes, a little bit of patience. But this seems to be the easiest way to do it. See, now I have a really good look into his shell. Yeah, I'm seeing a little bit of a thing up there, so I think this one's male. And then I let him go, and he can go find somewhere else to be. My guppies are like, what's happening? There's a bunch of little tiny baby guppies right there. See them? This tank has been doing really well with babies. I have probably pulled several hundred out of here in the last like 2 weeks. They're just everywhere. These are my snake skins. They're so cool, you guys. I love my snake skins. They're finally breeding with our lyre-tail guppy. And so we're getting snakeskin lyre-tails. They're so cool. I love them. Our other tanks are also having a lot of babies recently. These are our blacks and blues. And they're finally breeding. And then there's our solid guppies. They're mostly red, but we have some solid yellow metallics and our lyre-tail guppies in there. Sure. You want pictures of guppies or snails? I will take pictures and I will Instagram them. I don't mind taking pictures. Let me show you our babies. God, look at all the snails down there. I fed them this morning. These are all the ones for sale. And there's so many snails. They're everywhere. But see what I mean? Some of them are getting a little big to ship. So if these get too much bigger, I'm just going to throw them in my breeding tank. But see, they're healthy. They have good shells. And I have about a gazillion of them here. I've been throwing all of the new babies in here. And there's just a ton of them. Right now I have mostly blue and ivory. I think we might have some very little tiny jades in there. These are our breeders. Look at the size of these guys.
Let me see if I can move. Look at them. That's our gold and our big blue that has been doing all the breeding recently. These golds are so gorgeous. They're very bright. All of our baby guppies are nuts. I wonder if I can find the gold striped ones, because they're really cool and you don't see them very often. Here's one of our purples. It's our purple. Get him in the light. I see blues. Oh, here is a magenta. They're getting pretty big. I'm hoping they're going to breed soon. There's an ivory down there. Oh, there's one. This is a gold striped. It's not quite chestnut. And we have a couple of them. They're really cool. I like them. I hope we get more of them. The snails are all over the place. See, this is how filthy my fish tanks are. Because I don't clean them. I don't. I change water. But I let them live in the filth. But look how well they're doing. So, like, I just don't. And if you guys remember, early in the year, I bought Anacaris. This is my Anacaris. There's so much of it. It's just absolutely taken over in this tank. It's just floating in here. I don't throw fertilizer in here at all. But because I don't clean the bottom of the tank, I just let this filth accumulate. It grows so well. I think out of all my tanks, the ones I don't clean regularly, the ones that have lots of snails and guppies, tend to do the best. Cats, let's not. Let's not. They're fighting. Oh, here's my Daphnia. Let's see if I can. I have a watermelon rind in here right now. The snails were eating it, and now the Daphnia are living off this. You can kind of see them swimming in there. Lots of Daphnia. Yeah, I am a firm believer after doing this for like a year to just let your tanks be filthy. Like, change the water, of course, but like, I don't try to make them pretty. I just try to make them be little ponds. And I think all that nutrients and the infusoria and stuff really just helps. Let's see if I can get a good look at this. This is one of my Daphnia cultures. Look at all that Daphnia. It's doing so well. There's some ram's horn and some bladder snails in there. But all I've done is thrown some frog bait in here and some leaves. And I throw gross fish water in. And I just throw more water in it as it evaporates. I have not cleaned this at all. I don't feed it. And I have so much Daphnia. I am proud of you, one fish, two fish. Follow in my footsteps. Have all the cultures. No, they don't mess with the lower fish toads. Well, they drink out of them. But they don't mess with the fish. My cat Emo likes to come over here because these are clear. And he sleeps next to the guppies. And likes to watch them swim as he naps. I do not use Walter worms. I have Grindle worms. I have micro worms and vinegar eels for the babies. I have Grindle worms, fruit flies, rice flower beetles, mealworms. Still thinking. I have springtails. We feed a lot of our snails to the fish. And I do have my food that I use for conditioning. Let's
see, where is it? I don't know where it is. For conditioning our juvenile fish, because I know that they're not going to live with somebody who feeds them all live foods. So we give them Ken's Fish Betta crumbles, high protein Betta crumbles. We also have some tropical flakes, and we have bug bites. I do sell cultures if I have them. Generally, I just give them away though, because I have so many. So as long as somebody's not like buying a million cultures from me, if you're already getting something else and you're just like, hey, do you have any of this that I can have? I'll probably just send you some. Because I like to spread the wealth. I give out free cultures to my local area as well. I'm just like, hey, if you need one and you're in a pinch and you're like, hey, do you have any worms or something? I'll send you some. I have a gazillion. I'm not too worried about it. Here's our snail clutches. Our snails. Emo's interested. Hi, Emo. He's like, what is in there? I have these 4 incubating. And we already hatched out 3 this week. These are, let's see. 3 of these are all from the same day. This one in the lower corner is like 1 day before them. So these will probably hatch out in a couple days. Maybe I'll take some video of the itty bitty tiny babies because they're so itty bitty and cute. My guppies are all searching for food. I threw some Indian almond leaves in with everything yesterday because they just enjoy it. The cats think fish food is cat treats. Fish food and Indian almond leaves, they leave the fish alone though. This tank is a mess. You can see all the rocks in the bottom. I had a bunch of extra lava rock that I use in my filters hanging out the other day, and I was like, you know what, why don't I just throw it in the bottom of some tanks and let it cycle? So I threw some lava rock in like all of my tanks. Here's some of my ram's horns. I have pink ones in this tank. Not very many though. They don't breed very quickly, these pink ones. I love them. The pink ones are my favorite. And in this one, they're all like navy blue or pink leopard. They just look black. There's the guppies down there, chewing on God knows what. Guppies will eat anything. Literally anything. I've been throwing watermelon in here. I just throw the rinds in. The snails love to eat the rinds. They don't care too much about the fruit itself. But the guppies will eat the fruit. Hi, Select Pet. I'm disturbing all the baby guppies. Our hornwort's doing pretty good too. This is all of our hornwort from earlier in the year. Oh, my guppies are doing good. I got a gazillion. But yeah, everything's going good in here. I have a million of everything. But we have now been here, let's see, an hour and 40 minutes, you guys. An hour and 40 minutes. I never keep on time. So I will end the live stream. I need to go do water changes because the tanks are filthy. Like, hold on. Do you see the filth in Moo Cow's tank? Like, it's real. It's so filthy. I need to clean. I really need to clean. There's a cat upset with me. Go. Be free. So yeah. We'll end this live stream here and I will go do the water changes. There's Boss Sheep. Boss Sheep says hello. She's so cute. You can kind of see her little red spots coming in. You are going to be a beautiful, beautiful koi. Yes, you are. She's excited.
I will see you guys probably next Saturday unless I'm busy. Just look for the thingy-majigger. That'll pop up and say, hey, there's a live stream. And I hope everybody has a really, really great Saturday. Go visit Dee's stream tomorrow. That's where I'll be. Ponyo says goodbye.